So I've got just a few minutes. I'd like to share some thoughts I have on, in terms of giving some advice for cultivating employee retention. This advice is for high-end, in-demand, highly paid professionals. So if you're running a restaurant or you've got employees that are making minimum wage or whatnot, this advice might not be, all of it might not be for you. But for me, in the professional pilot world, where pilots are very, very much in demand and our good pilots are hard to get, here are some thoughts that I think could be and would be very, very helpful for various aviation employers trying to do what they can to cultivate employee retention. So, first few items here should be obvious. One is treat others how you would like to be treated. Put yourself in their shoes and vice versa. Treat others how they would like to be treated within reason. Treat others how they would like to be treated within reason. And so if someone's unhappy with their treatment, then they're not going to be as inclined to give you what you want. If you want someone to give you what you want, you generally need to be willing to give them what they want or what they require in order to receive those services. Number two is be honest in your dealings. Pay industry standard. Pay what was agreed to. And one right now that's a little bit close to me at the moment is pay PTO at separation. You agreed to paying PTO and to people accrue paid time off in a lot of these places, and if you're not going to pay back that PTO that has been accrued, that is fundamentally dishonest. And just making a statement or writing a memo saying, hey, we're not going to do this, doesn't make it right. It just shows everybody that you lack integrity. So that's not cool. So show your integrity, especially when someone quits or gives notice of separation. How you treat people, especially when they're falling out of favor or maybe they're walking away, how you treat people in those negative situations really shows what kind of a person you are, what kind of employer you are. Word gets around. Number three is regularly request suggestions and feedback. If I was a supervisor, if I was a boss, I would be making sure I was having regular conversations, at least on a quarterly or annual basis. Give them a call and say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you and see how you're doing and see what suggestions you have. Maybe give them some warning. Say, hey, let's here's the conversation I want to have. Schedule that a few days out. Come with a list. That would really, really help. If you want to know what people want, what their expectations are, and what their grievances are, and what their ideas are, in terms of how things can be improved, ask them. So regularly request suggestions and feedback. Respond to suggestions and feedback. At my current company, they have a process for filling out a form with feedback, and in the 5 years I've been here, I've never ever had anyone respond to any of the suggestions that I've made on any of those forms, and none of those suggestions have been implemented. No one's ever talked to me about any of it. So that doesn't exactly bode well in terms of me feeling like I'm a valued part of the team. Make reasonable and prudent changes based on those suggestions and feedback. A lot of people, especially people in management, people with inflated egos, any idea that's not their idea is a bad idea. Don't be one of those people. Make reasonable and prudent changes based on the suggestions and feedback you get from your people. Number 6 is feed your employees, especially if you got a business like in mine, where for me I am away from home for 8-10 days at a time. You need to feed those people. Here's a company credit card. expense your meals, just cover it. Don't nickel and dime people with, well, you get this much for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or you can do this, but you can't do that, or if you do more than one leg or two legs, if it's less than 2 hours between legs, and you go get a meal. That's ridiculous. I tell you what. Here's the deal. While we're on the topic of food and feeding people, any hillbilly's wife with an IQ of 30 knows that the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. If you want people to really be happy, feed them. It's incredibly basic to making people feel valued and edified and nourished, like they're being taken care of. An employee is like a man's wife. You need that person. You need an employee to feel like they are nourished, they're fed, they're safe, things are secure, and things are going well. If you're not going to do that, then those individuals are going to be always looking for another place, another company where they will receive those benefits of feeling valued, having security, being fed, and having that stability and safety. So one terrific way, essential way to make people feel secure and like they're being taken care of is to feed them. So if you're employing pilots, let them expense their meals. That would go a hugely long way in with retention. Guarantee it. Do all you can to help your employees have a positive experience at work. With their transportation, hotels, etc. Make sure that that's a positive experience. One of the big grievances I have with my current employer, which I'm leaving in a few days, is that they restructured the company. We're now being paid by a different entity than the certificate that runs the operation, and now the government's taken away our KCM privileges, so we have to go through security like common serfs. And for someone who's got lots of bags and is carrying food and whatnot, that is for me it's an outrageous experience to have to go through on a daily or weekly basis. And so what they should have done is, when they found out KCM was going to go away, they should have halted that process and brought everybody back and said, we'll restructure the pay once everybody actually moves to the new certificate. But that was the deal breaker for me staying at where I'm at, was the whole KCM experience. I've been treated outrageously these last few weeks since we had our KCM privileges revoked. And so that's why I'm going, and that did not need to be. The other big deal for me is being nickel and dime with food, with getting meals, and having the book thrown at me when I try to get a meal and maybe I didn't have 2 legs that day or whatever. It's ridiculous. So this is a bit of a vent session. But if you want to know why I'm unhappy and why I'm moving on, here you go. Number 8, make sure your employees feel individually recognized, appreciated, respected, and valued. Giving public recognition of a job well done goes a long ways. Men really want to be honored. They want to be respected. They want to be valued. They want to be appreciated. Learning how to do that, not just in a phone call or an email, but public appreciation by name goes a long ways. People who aspire to leadership, the people who are the supervisors and the chief pilots and the big bosses, they all get the recognition that they crave by going after those positions. But they almost always forget that most people really want to feel valued and recognized for their contribution. And that's something that is almost never properly addressed in any company. And it's a shame. It's so easy and it doesn't cost hardly anything. So make sure your employees feel individually recognized, appreciated, respected, and valued. Number 9, when someone gives notice of separation, if you are glad, great, let them go. Bye-bye. But if this is a grievous thing for you, maybe give them a call. Express your concern. Hey, why are you going? What can we do to talk you into staying? If someone gives you their 2 weeks notice and all they hear is crickets, then they're like, well, obviously that wasn't a big deal, and no one's sad to see me go. Bye-bye. That's really not professional. Be professional and try to make separation events professional. Make them cordial, make them positive. How you treat your people when they separate really is a huge indication and it's a reflection of often of what's going on a daily basis for those who are still there. So be professional, be kind, reach out, show concern, show respect, and if someone has a grievance, if someone's talking about leaving, give them a call and talk to them. See if you can talk them out of it. This is really basic stuff. In all your business conduct and decisions, always do good by doing what is ethical and what is best. Always do that which produces the best value, the best benefit, and the best outcome for everyone concerned. All the company policies, protocols, and procedures have their place. It's very, very important to have SOPs and all that kind of stuff, and we all recognize that these are necessary and they need to be followed. But having a super ultra rigid militaristic approach to all these procedures and checklists is not always the best thing. People need to be able to think. They need to be able to problem solve. They need to be able to address all the situations that are not addressed in all the policies, procedures, checklists, SOPs, etc. Let people be professionals. Let them make decisions, and have some flexibility in terms of how you run your business and how you demand a pilot runs his cockpit. This should be pretty basic stuff. And then it's just some parting thoughts. Workplace deficiencies cannot all be compensated for by increasing salaries or benefits. Just throwing money at people is not going to solve the problem. People really like being treated well. Their day-to-day experience, their quality of life on the road, off the road, at home, at work, their quality of life really, really, really matters. How they're treated really, really matters. You can't fix that by throwing more money at them or adjusting benefits. And then finally, loyalty is earned. If you want people to be fiercely loyal to you, then you need to do the kinds of things that I've discussed in this little video. I've had, in many respects, a very good experience at my current employer this last 5 years. I've been treated very well in many ways. I really have. I've been treated like gold in many ways, and yet in other ways that has not been the case. And so there's always room for improvement, and that improvement really isn't that difficult to grasp or to comprehend. So I'm going to throw this online. I've tried not to mention any names, but I hope that this will help somebody be a better boss and provide a better work experience for their people. Have a great one.